Hi, so I thought I would get on as I feed my baby pear and talk about my recent miscarriage that I had, my experience. Um, so I had my miscarriage on 8/28/22, or at least that is when my miscarriage symptoms began, and I knew that I was going to lose my baby, my second baby. Um, so Melody, my baby, was 6 months when I got pregnant with my second. Um, and the day that my symptoms began was a Sunday, and we were out of town. We were visiting my husband's family. We had watched church online, and everything, I felt fine. And I went to the bathroom, and when I wiped, there was a little bit of blood, but it was like that first time, it was like spotting blood, which I know they say you can have, but usually that's during implantation. And I had already gotten so many positive tests, and I went to the doctor, and they confirmed my pregnancy. So I felt like it was kind of late to be spotting. And then we went on a walk, short walk in the neighborhood, and I started having a little bit of cramping, which I had cramping in the beginning with her a lot, and some cramping is normal, but a lot of it was in my lower back. Well, it felt like period cramps, but I started having some cramping in my lower back, and that was kind of like constant feeling that. And it wasn't really too bad in the beginning. And then I went to the bathroom again later in the afternoon, and there was a good amount of blood, like period amount. So at that point, when I saw that much blood and I had the cramping, I was like, I knew something was wrong and I was losing my baby. And the pain got a little bit worse in my lower back, and I asked for a heating pad, and the heating pad helped with the pain. And then I went to the bathroom again. There was a lot of blood again, and I just knew at that point, and I called my parents and I told them, I think I'm having a miscarriage. And I kind of just rested the rest of the day so it wouldn't be worse on me, because I know when you have a miscarriage, you can have contractions, and it can be really painful. You can have blood clots. So this was on Sunday. The rest of the night, I was having like period cramps and just bleeding like a period. The next morning, I didn't feel any different. It didn't get worse in the morning, and we were going to travel back home. It was a 6-7 hour drive. We got to the first rest stop, and I ended up locking the keys in the car, so that was great. We had to wait for a locksmith to come, but so on the ride home, I was cramping. It started to get worse, actually, when we got back to the state we live in, and my bleeding was a little heavier. I texted my midwife and told her what was going on. I wrote her on Sunday, and she sent me miscarriage information just so I would know what to expect. She told me Monday, you're probably gonna have more cramping and clots. And then Monday night, when I got home, I did have a clot about this big. And I guess that was what would have been the baby. That was actually the only clot that I have. I know with some people, they can have multiple clots, blood clots. And I guess it might depend on how far along you are too. I was only 5 weeks and a day, so I didn't have it too rough. I'm really thankful that it happened as early as it did, because it would have been a lot harder if it was later, especially if I had seen the baby on the ultrasound and I knew what the sex was and had given the baby a name, you know. Well, we ended up naming the baby Angel, but I really didn't have it as rough as other people do, and I'm really thankful for that. It was a little confusing, you know. My bleeding, so I bled Sunday, Monday, Tuesday, and then it kind of eased off. Thursday, I was feeling all right. I was feeling really good in the morning, and my husband decided to take off, and we went to the zoo together because I wanted to take my baby to the zoo because she loves looking at animals. And I guess, you know, walking around like that, I started bleeding again and having some cramping. And then I think that I bled the day after that a little bit, and then it went away, and I haven't bled since, and I felt fine, so it wasn't really too rough on me physically. So I did have someone tell me that they had cramping and period-like bleeding and clots, and when they went to get an ultrasound, their baby was still alive inside them, and they ended up having him. So just because you have all those symptoms doesn't mean something's wrong, but usually when you have heavy bleeding, something is wrong. Now, I did get an ultrasound. So it started Sunday, I got an ultrasound Thursday, and everything was empty and looked good. Sometimes, you know, you might have to go get cleaned out for whatever reason. Everything looked good for me, so I didn't have to do that, thankfully. But anyways, so that was my experience. If you have had a miscarriage, I'm so sorry. I know it can be really difficult. You know, no matter how far along you are, that's hard. And I'm so sorry if you don't have a baby yet and this has been happening to you. But God has been so good through it all, and I know that He has a plan in it. I know it can be, you know, confusing, but God is good, and we'll see our babies again, hopefully one day, in heaven with Jesus. So I'm so sorry if you've gone through this, or if you do go through this in the future.